Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and this is a breakdown of WandaVision Episode 2, in which Wanda's goofy sitcom dream bubble begins to bleed, persecute socialists, and get drunk on chewing gum. It's getting weirder, and as I did for Episode 1, I am going to comb through this episode shot by shot for all the Easter eggs and hidden details I spotted. Spoiler warning, and this video is brought to you by Privacy. Privacy lets you buy things online using virtual cards, protecting your identity and bank information on the internet. And as a treat to my viewers, new Privacy customers will get $5 to spend on their first purchase when they go to privacy.com/newrockstars to sign up now. And if you are interested in winning a PlayStation 5, reminder that our merch partners at Epic Hero Shop are giving away 10 PlayStation 5s. You enter by following their new YouTube channel, Epic Hero Labs, and filling out the form at epicheroshop.com/giveaway, and they'll announce a new winner every 10,000 subscribers they get. And speaking of merch, our latest Obsession shirt, An Unusual Couple, it's so amazing. It's got secret augmented reality Easter eggs around Vision's head. Get your hands on that at newrockstarsmerch.com. Get this Vision shirt and you can write in custom shoutouts that we will feature in Inside Marvel. But on to the episode. It opens with a bump in the night.
Actually, I did overhear a couple of lads at work remarking on a few unsavory characters settling in the neighborhood,
suggesting that the town of Westview is now feeling threatened by outsiders, presumably the forces of S.W.O.R.D. trying to infiltrate Wanda's pocket reality. Now, whereas episode 1 was inspired by sitcoms like The Dick Van Dyke Show and I Love Lucy, episode 2 appears to be based on the late 60s sitcom Bewitched. There's a very Bewitched inspired animated opening here. But with this WandaVision theme, notice the melody in the beat of the song. That is the same general syncopation of the other big song that's featured in this episode, the Beach Boys' Help Me Rhonda. Help me Rhonda, help me Rhonda. Help Me Rhonda plays through the static on the radio in a way to make it kind of sound like Help Me Wanda.
Who is that?
All of this is making this episode a cry for help for Wanda. Wanda ends up helping. She helps Vision, she helps Dottie, she helps save this fragile reality from the mysterious Beekeeper by just saying no and rewinding. And as these animated neighbors sing, WandaVision, WandaVision, they're all kind of like begging for her help to get them out of her heart. The animated Westview billboard reads, "Home, it's where you make it." Interesting reflection of the way Wanda is literally constructing this home around her with her mind. As animated Vision floats through the house, they do this amazing Simpsons crawl space gag by showing the horrors between the floors. There's a few bones, a cobweb, and right there, that four-pronged helmet looks like the helmet of Marvel villain the Grim Reaper, who comes from a Vision comic involving transferred consciousness, which might be part of this show. That is Avengers number 102, which could tie into that license plate we saw in episode 10102. And remember, Mr. Hart in episode 1 asked Vision if he had any skeletons in his closet.
No skeletons in your closet, eh, Vision?
Apparently he does. There are some horrors in this house. In fact, my Westview is a graveyard theory from Inside Marvel is starting to look a little less insane. As Vision drives past these neighbors, Dottie's floral coat appears to have a dark stain on it. I don't think it's part of the pattern because you don't see any other ones that are that dark. She later references getting out blood stains from white linen, something she has to do herself. A very unsettling line. Jones, what the hell are you doing to your wife? And here Agnes holds her rabbit, Senor Scratchy, along with a martini. It's daytime. Agnes's drinking is another thing we should probably keep our eye on. So rehearsing their magic act, Wanda talks about the talent show acts by some of their neighbors.
Fred and Linda are building a moat in a fully functioning portcullis and no one even knows why.
You know, we never do see any act with a moat or a castle. So yeah, it's a throwaway joke, but it's kind of a weird one. Like, why were Fred and Linda, whoever they are, building a moat and a fortress gate? Who are they trying to protect themselves from? Oh, and Illusion and Glamour are a nod to the stage names of the Zarkovs, who live in Leona, New Jersey with Vision and Wanda in their 12-issue comic in the 80s. They start off against them, but then later kind of shelter them. The dining room wall art shows a different fortress, though. This is the Hydra Lab base where Wanda and her brother were experimented on in Sokovia in Age of Ultron. So yeah, all of Westview is tied to Wanda's inner thoughts and memories. And actually, for our theories on how this could all tie into the X-Men coming to the MCU, be sure to watch this week's Rogue Theory. And then we hear that bump again. You know, at first I thought that sound was a lawnmower, but no, these are the whirring blades of a helicopter. Then boom, and then she finds it outside, bright red and yellow with a sword logo. It is possible this was the helicopter we've seen in trailer footage on the outside of Westview that maybe got a little too close to the border and was warped into this harmless toy. And Inside Marvel, we talked about that creepy episode of The Twilight Zone, It's a Good Life, in which a boy in a remote town mind controls everyone and forces them to bend to his will and play his game, kind of like it looks like Wanda is doing in this. And in that, he terrifyingly turns a man into a jack-in-the-box. That could be kind of what Wanda is doing here. And every time we hear a bump, it could be a different member of SWORD trying to break in. Monica, the helicopter, and at the end of the episode, someone as that beekeeper figure. But as Wanda tries to figure this out, her concentration is broken.
Look, it's the star of the show.
It is as if Agnes doesn't want her to look at that chopper. But again, another possible double meaning here, perhaps a nod to Wanda being the star of this fake town. And then notice Agnes is wearing that same pendant. We saw that before last episode. This could be a sign of her constancy throughout this variable reality. She doesn't really change when it warps. She's just pretending that she's part of it. And then Agnes talks about Senor Scratchy's stage work.
He played baby Jesus in last year's Christmas pageant.
The son of God played by an animal? It's a little odd, dare I say sacrilegious. Because that name, Senor Scratchy, sounds like a nod to Mr. Scratch or Old Scratch, which are nicknames for the devil. Agnes did say last episode her and Ralph's anniversary was June 2nd, the date the Salem witch trials began in 1692. Is that the date she married this demonic figure? I'm just saying, it sounds like we're getting more clues that her husband Ralph that she can't shut up about, and this rabbit could just be the same devil by different names. And then there's this bizarre moment with a mailman.
Oh, morning, Dennis. Stick him up.
Don't shoot, I'm just a messenger.
Pew, pew.
What was that? Maybe Agnes is keeping a close eye on what messages and correspondence get in and out to this town. And right after this, she focuses Wanda's anxiety on a different evil queen bee, Dottie, to deflect from herself. And then there's that abject fear in Agnes's face when Wanda suggests just being herself.
Or maybe I could just be myself, more or less.
That is the last thing Agnes wants. She wants Wanda to play along with this whole charade and never access her true awareness. Now, at the planning meeting, you might have caught this little gem.
The devil's in the details, Bev.
That's not the only place he is.
Ha! I have been betting for months now that this series will introduce Marvel's devil Mephisto, whom Agatha serves in the comics. And that's who we think Agnes is based on. So really, any mentions of devils or satanic elements we are going to need to highlight. Now, sure, you could read this as just Agnes throwing shade at Dottie, or even hinting about the booze she was about to whip out. But then, why would Wanda wave her away as if she already knew what Agnes was referring to before seeing the flask? Yeah, Agnes is hiding a lot, and she's thirsty in all kinds of ways. She shows up at suspicious times, and she is now talking about the devil hiding in places. It's coming together, folks. And again, thanks to Privacy for sponsoring this episode. Start off the new year by cleaning up your digital hygiene. Delete those old unused apps and get a new one that will make your digital life more secure and organized, like Privacy. Use Privacy to protect your personal information online and help with budgeting and tracking your spending. Privacy comes in handy with recurring payments, like for streaming services and other subscription services. I have set up an account with Privacy, and I've linked my bank account and created a card specifically for my monthly Netflix subscription payment. Privacy will ding you if someone tries to charge the card twice or if the charge exceeds the amount you set for it. In this way, in case I need to suddenly cancel my Netflix subscription, but I forget to do it, Netflix can't be like, aha, we're gonna ding you for another month. Privacy's got my back. They're like, this card has some rules, my friend. So just fill out your credit card info in the privacy.com Chrome and Firefox extension, and you're only ever one click away from spending smartly and safely. Privacy protects your identity and bank information on the internet and lets you control the limits on each virtual card. Privacy's added a summary page to make it easy to track your spending, which is great for budgeting purposes and making sure those financial New Year's resolutions are not flushed by February 1st. Head to privacy.com/newrockstars and sign up for an account. New customers will automatically get $5 to spend on your first purchase. Go to privacy.com/newrockstars and sign up now. And then Dottie says,
All of this is for the children.
For the children.
For the children.
Yeah, it is pretty creepy how much "for the children" gets mindlessly parroted this episode, especially when you consider nowhere in Westview, not even in the background, are any children visible. Where are the f***ing kids? This is a family town, right? They talk about their kids, but we do not see them. Clearly, this isn't about the other children of Westview, but the children the whole town is designed to trick Wanda into bringing to life. That is what Mephisto and Agatha do to Wanda in the comics, to drain Wanda of her chaos magic. As Wanda meets Monica, who bullshits the name Geraldine, look behind her. I love how Catherine Hahn sips her booze and just like really gets into it. Now, meanwhile, the men's neighborhood watch are just a bunch of gossips.
You know those bowling trophies Arthur's always polishing? We bought them all at a yard sale in Hackensack.
I knew it.
Hackensack, New Jersey. Along with that Jersey area code, another clue, Westview and Sword could be set up near Camp Lehigh in New Jersey. And also, we did see Arthur's fake bowling trophies in the office last episode. And I love how Vision tries to play along here.
Norm here's a communist.
The second time Cold War era anti-communist sentiment has come up this season.
We don't break bread with bullshit.
This whole red scare motif parallels the fear of the literal color red on this show. The helicopter, Dottie's blood, the creepy light on that toaster, and in this scene, big red gum that clogs Vision's gears. Didn't know that's how his body worked. I thought he could just like phase shift food through him, but clearly he wanted to ingest this. It's interesting if you think about it. Vision has kind of become the Mr. Heart of this episode. He accuses others of being communists and he chokes. Dottie holds nothing back calling out Wanda, but those accusations are interrupted by the radio.
Wanda? Who's doing this to you, Wanda? What?
This voice sounds a lot like Jimmy Woo, who does work for Sword, but more importantly, it tells us that Wanda is not totally in control of Westview. She's at least partially a victim, probably to some other third party, who is tricking her into wanting to stay in this bubble. But as Wanda listens, the radio explodes right as Dottie shatters the glass, cutting her hand. But then the Help Me Rhonda music resumes and the radio is not broken anymore. So yeah, this illusion just kind of patched its leak and it used Dottie's accident as a misdirect. Then we get a commercial for Strucker Swiss-made watches. Strucker, he'll make time for you.
He'll make time for you.
There's even a Hydra logo and the word Hydra on it. Strucker is of course that Hydra leader who experimented on Wanda and Pietro using the Mind Stone to activate their powers. You remember him from the Captain Winter Soldier post-credit scene in the beginning of Age of Ultron?
It's not the world of spies anymore, not even the world of heroes. This is the age of miracles, Doctor.
There's nothing more horrifying than a miracle.
Now, if you think about it, the last commercial was for a Stark-made device that beeped kind of like a bomb about to go off. Much like that Stark projectile that did not explode next to young Pietro and Wanda, but made them always hate Mr. Stark. So now this commercial is also an expression of Wanda's Sokovian past. Then at the talent show, the gum clogging Vision's gears make him seem drunk.
We will lie to you, and yet you will believe our little deception, because human beings are easily fooled.
I feel like Vision just drunkenly revealed a big part of this show's deeper mystery. We are being deceived because we do not fully understand the nature of reality and how Wanda can control it. Vision keeps using actual magic, but Wanda has to cover for him by making them look like handmade tricks. I like how very briefly Agnes puts her purse back down in relief, making me think, what was in that purse? What was she about to pull on them? Pew, 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 pew. Also, note that Agnes is sitting with Mrs. Hart. Mr. Hart ain't sitting there. He is nowhere in sight. Again, talked about, but not there. Their neighbor's name is revealed as Herb.
It's Herbert. Herb.
Now, I will say we are kind of on the lookout for a Herbert in the MCU since we've been theorizing that the High Evolutionary Herbert Wyndham might be introduced in Guardians Volume 3, maybe the geneticist who made Rocket the way he was. I'm not sure if this guy is going to be the same Herbert though. Their magic act kind of falls apart and Wanda needs someone to be in the cabinet as the crowd starts referencing Seven.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the
What's in the box?
So they teleport Monica in there and Agnes, as if knowing this was impossible actual magic, looks concerned to say the least. So back at home with their victory trophy, they connect the dots on what For the Children was really all about.
For the children. Well, I think the children might need some popcorn.
And boom, out of nowhere, big old baby bump. But then they hear another bump and outside they see this.
No,
Aha, so the Beekeeper suit has a sword logo, suggesting this guy is the same kind of intruder that Monica was, that the helicopter was, but then warped into a new bizarre form on the inside of the bubble. And maybe Wanda's rejecting this outsider, as we know from the trailer footage that she will do to Monica at some point. Now, if you were to brighten up this guy, this is the face of actor Zach Henry, the stunt performer for this show and a number of Marvel productions. So really, it's less about what mystery actor this is and more about what this character represents to Wanda. Maybe we can look at this pocket reality as a kind of hive. Wanda as the queen bee commanding the drones, rejecting the beekeeper when he comes to reap the honey. Also notice how both episodes 1 and 2 end with a hexagonal honeycomb wipe. And this episode opens with 6 stars around the moon forming the points of a hexagon. However you look at this, I think this is clearly a failed rescue attempt of Wanda. She is so delusional that she wants to stay trapped in this illusion to move on to the next chapter rather than close the book and wake up from the dream. I'm not sure we can blame Wanda for that because, as the voice repeats in the final line, it is not her who's doing this.
Who's doing this to you, Wanda?
Follow me and Darla on Instagram at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars. Hit that notification bell. We're going to be talking a lot more about WandaVision in the weeks ahead. So until next week, WandaVision, WandaVision, help me, Rhonda. Oh God, I'm getting demonetized.